Well, obviously we were very happy to be here. We're happy to still be playing, and I think this time of year is about a couple of things. It's about being healthy, and we are that, and having a definite scheme and a style of play, and we have that. So I think that we're in the best possible situation to be successful at this point in the season. Obviously, we understand that there are no bad teams in the Big East Conference, but there are no bad teams in the NCAA tournament. So we are fully prepared to play a tough game. And coming into this tournament, we understand what the task is, and the task is to win a game in advance. Obviously, we're playing a very good basketball team. They make shots, and we're a zone team, so it's going to be a contrast of styles, and so we have to be able to get out there and guard the arc. But as you look at their shooting percentages and the things they do well, those are the things that really hurt a zone. So we have to make sure that in our scheme and our task at hand is to limit their three-point shots and to make sure that we're able to contest shots. But overall, we all know that this 7-10 game is pretty much an even game. And we understand that we have to play really hard and play really well to win.
Take questions for the student athletes. If you'll raise your hand, I will call on you, and if you'll please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. Here in front.
Just for Carmen, I guess, does Creighton remind you of anybody with that three-point shooting ability, and what kind of, if you talk about the matchup, their three-point shooting going up against your zone, how that can create a matchup problem?
Yes, actually, they remind us a lot of Villanova, and that's an opponent that we faced twice. And so far, it seems as though that they're, a pretty good three-point shooting team. So we know that we really got to get out and guard the arc, and like Coach said, limit their three-point attempts.
In the front.
This one for Kyla, as a senior class, never having a tournament win, how much has that been discussed in preparation for this one?
For this game coming up? Honestly, I think that we just look at this like every other game. We're coming in here to definitely win. We're going to follow our game plan. We're going to follow what we do, play our basketball, but at the same time, we're going to go in here and hopefully try and get this W. This is a great opportunity for our team and for our program.
Second row.
For Lacey, obviously a lot of orange in this building. Do you hope the Tennessee fans get a little confused in that first game and just pull for Syracuse?
Definitely more fans the better, but we have our team here, which has been driving us this whole time. We have a pretty good bench who's been giving us support and, has been there obviously throughout the whole season. And, we have a couple of fans who, Pachiana, 2 hours away, so of course she'll have some family here that'll show us some support. Cornelia, who's from Memphis, which is a little further than we thought it was, but but obviously we'll have some fans there. But the extra support would definitely, be great for us.
In the front.
Kyla, for you again, kind of a year of first this year, reaching the Big East semifinals for the first time in quite some time, getting to the NCAA tournament for the first time in quite some time as well. How much you guys talk about that leading in the tournament? Any discussion there at all?
Honestly, I think it started from preseason. Like all of us, the whole team, we just decided that we were going to have no shortcuts. We were going to dedicate ourselves entirely to this season. And I felt like we broke it up into sections. So the first section was like preseason, then we had pre-conference play, then we had conference, and then postseason. I feel like just dedicating ourselves and focusing one game at a time, I think that helped us to get to this place that we are now. And I feel like the talent that we brought in, especially with the freshman class, and then the people that we have from beforehand, we have a veteran class here who's very familiar with the scheme, so I feel like that all came together and helped us to get to this point.
Third row.
For Carmen, I wonder if you talk a little bit about how much you feel like the Big East has helped prepare you for this tournament. You've got 8 teams from the league in this thing, obviously a lot of different styles of play, good players. Has that just been great preparation for this?
I think it has, and personally I'm going to be biased when I say that I think the Big East is one of the better conferences, in the nation. And I feel as though with the physical play that we have tough defenders, we have great scorers. We have top teams like Notre Dame and UConn in our conference in Louisville, and teams like Villanova that shoot the three-point ball very well. I feel as though we have a very diverse conference, and I think that'll prepare us to play, deep in postseason, whoever we face.
In the back.
Alicia Panisi, Ryan in Syracuse. Kayla, Knowing you guys are all seniors, how much more does that motivate you to kind of get a win?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm extremely motivated. We came here. We know that the rule is with the NCAA tournament, it's survive in advance, and that's what we're trying to do this year. We're going to take it one game at a time, focus on what we need to do, getting it done, and hopefully going on to the next game and the game after. So.
Carmen Lacey, if you want to go ahead and address that as well.
Every game is going to be our last game, so it's more so than ever to leave it all on the floor. And I mean, being a senior is just about knowing that. I mean, I think at this point, it's really about being aware of that and bringing your best every game you play now.
I agree with them both. Definitely taking advantage because this next game against Creighton could be my last game in a Syracuse jersey. So definitely taking advantage of that and honing in on the things that we do and knowing that will definitely help me advance or help us advance to the next level.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, we'll dismiss the student athletes back to the open locker room.
Thank you.
Second row.
Coach, when the brackets came out and you guys were 7 seed, I'll be honest, I thought you were well underseeded. Obviously, you can't do anything about it now. That's the seed you got. But do you think your guys' resume was better than a 7 seed for this tournament?
Well, it was good to be seated. We've been sitting there a couple years and thinking that we should have been at least a 16 seed and got nothing. So I think that when you go through our conferences, there's so many worthy teams under being this tournament, and honestly, I was looking at anywhere between a 5 and a 7, 7 being on the low end, but we relish the opportunity to be able to play no matter who it is there. And there are no bad teams in this tournament. And I remember walking past Coach Boeheim when theirs came out, and I said, "Coach, you have a long trip." He says, "At least we're playing." So he kind of put it all back in perspective by just that one comment.
Front row.
Talk about Alexander, one of the best players in program history, it seems like, based on your stats. Just what has she meant to the development of this program, and how are you able to get her to Syracuse?
Well, she's been huge for us because obviously on both ends of the floor, when you can score in the paint and throw the ball inside to her, she can score over either shoulder. She can step out and shoot the ball. Defensively, she allows us to gamble up front because she's a great shot blocker. So I think that on both ends, she's been an anchor for us, and you have to have a go-to player. I think at both ends of the floor, and I think she's been that for us for 4 years.
Coach, you kind of talked about this earlier, but can you talk about matching up with Quentin three-point shooting with your 2 3s?
Well, I think it's two things. I think a lot of people look at a zone and say, why would you guard a team who can shoot the ball in a zone? My biggest thing about playing zone against shooting teams is that you can locate them. You know where they are. You're not chasing stagger screens. You're not chasing flares. You're not chasing pin downs. You're not chasing a lot of stuff. If you play your principles and you play your quarter of the floor, someone should always be in front of you. So for us, it's about getting out there and contesting shots. This is what we do. We've been very solid in our scheme and in our style of play, and they're a very good basketball team. Obviously, when you look on every stat line in the NCAA stats, they're at the top in percentage and make. So we have to do our jobs, get out and guard our quarter of the floor and contest shots strong.
The back.
Coach, you have a pretty rigorous schedule down the stretch. What did you learn from your team in regards to maybe how they would play in postseason throughout that tough schedule?
I think it's all about their toughness. We have a very tough basketball team. They play very hard. And as a coach, that's all you really ask for is for your team. You just bring effort every night. I think it's something as a coach when you don't want to coach is coach effort. And our players play hard every night, every possession, so it makes it easy to coach.
Yeah.
Coach, with this conference realignment that the Big East is about this kind of going away, how much of a loss is that, you think, for women's basketball? Because this league has been really good in women's hoops for a long time.
I think it's a combination of things. I think that when we're realigning as far as women's basketball is concerned, I think that you have combined some very good teams from the Big East with some very good teams from the ACC. And I think that when you look at all the realignments, I think it's helped women's basketball in the point of just having really strong conferences. I don't know how much it hurts. I guess that remains to be seen. But I think that for us going into the ACC, it's going to be a tremendously strong conference. When you talk about taking Notre Dame, taking Louisville, taking us, and Pitt's been a very young basketball team. You have 4 good teams going into a very good conference already. So I think it remains to be seen how much it's going to really hurt or help women's basketball. Go back.
How you doing?
Yeah, how are you?
Good. I don't know. I can imagine you probably get this question a lot, so I apologize if you've answered it a bunch. What is your relationship with Jim Boeheim and his affiliation with his own defense and yours? Is that where you bounce things off of each other in that regard, or is it strictly your own?
Well, he don't bounce many things off of me, but but I do bounce things off of him. It's important to have a relationship with coach, and coach has been great. If I have any questions, I can always go to him and ask. But I think that I'm a visual learner. I go to his practice a lot, watch what he does, and he's the master. He's tremendous at that. And I think that when I first started coaching, I went to him and I asked him about the zone, and he just gave me really, really simple concepts, and it made sense. And I think it's helped us so much in game prep. It's helped our players understand exactly what we need to do scheme-wise, and he's been great. I mean, he's the best in the business. So to be able to walk downstairs every day, the same time every day, and watch drills and watch what they do in game prep has been a tremendous for me in my development as a zone coach.
Were you a zone coach before you got to Syracuse? Would that have been your choice of full-time defense, or have you become that because you've been able to see him and learn?
Well, no, I was a man coach, but I think that when you look out your window and you see all those banners lined up across the wall, you just think maybe you should do some of the things that he do. So it's been a transformation for me because he wins, and he's won at a high level with that defense, and allowed us to play some players on the floor that we probably wouldn't be able to play in certain situations. There's always built-in help off dribble penetration. So for us, it's been really good for our program and for our team.
Coach, this senior class, one is in school history. Can you talk about how important that leadership and experience will be heading into a tournament environment?
Well, I think for them it's been sacrifice too, because when you look at Carmen, you look at Lacey, they've had to sacrifice a lot for our young kids to develop. They've been great leaders. They've showed our kids how we play basketball at Syracuse, and that's been the most important thing. I think that they have a cohesiveness that's been great for us. And if we can continue that and stay together and stay tough, I think we can win some games.
Coach, obviously Pat Summer's not here anymore, but still a lot of history in Tennessee. Do you have a chance to take your team to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame? I realize it's a business trip, but you've sort of taken some of the history here too.
Yeah, we actually talking about doing that today after practice. We have a little window of time, and I think it's important that when you go on these trips that you come and take care of business first, but also too, it's about learning and it's about growing. So we actually talked about that this morning with our staff. They were probably going to do that this afternoon. But obviously being in a venue like this, I've been here before. I was coach at Alabama, but I think that for our players, Coach Summit is Coach Summit. So I think that to be able to come in and take in some of the history, some of the sights of being here is tremendous for our team.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.